Hello?
Miss Lestico, guess what time it is?
What time?
It's time for math!
Yay!
Guess what time it is, Miss Lestico?
It's time for math!
To learn about time! Oh my goodness! This is so exciting. What's our target, Miss Lestico?
Well, our target is the exact same as yesterday, which means that we are practicing being able to read and write time to the hour on a digital and analog clock.
That's right. Yesterday we practiced making it on the analog clock and reading it, but today we're going to show you how we're going to actually draw the hands on an analog clock or write the hours and minutes on the digital clock. I think we're ready to get started, Miss
Let's go
Lestico.
ahead and get started. We have a bucket of time.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, we're going to take turns drawing some time out of the bucket, and then we have to show you how to write that time on the opposite type of clock.
Oh, you're going to help us figure out if the time that's written down on the card is on an analog clock or a digital clock, because we'll have to do the opposite.
Okay, I'm going to go first. Are you ready? Oh, let's see. I accidentally pulled two. Oh my goodness.
Is that an analog or digital clock?
Oh, raise your hand if it's analog. Okay, raise your hand if it's digital. It was an analog clock, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to look at this clock and I'm going to see, ooh, I have two hands. I have a shorter hand pointing to the 5 and a longer hand pointing to the 12. So it's 5 o'clock. And I know that it's 5 o'clock because that's my hour, that's my minutes. So Miss Lestico, if this is 5 o'clock, can you show us how to draw it on the digital clock?
Ooh, so I know the digital clock is this clock where I'm going to put the numbers and it's separated by a colon in the middle. So I have to hear the hour first, so I know that it's 5 o'clock. So I'm going to start with my hour of 5. And o'clock is just how we say 0, 0 in time. So this is how 5 o'clock would look on a digital clock.
Oh, perfect. And I can tell these clocks are matching. Okay, Miss Lestico, it's your turn to draw a time.
All right, let's see. I drew, oh my goodness, is this an analog time or a digital time?
I think it's a digital time. Is that what you guys thought?
Good
Oh
job.
my
I know that it's a digital time because it has our colon in the middle separating the hours from the minutes. So Miss Lime, how would I draw this on an analog clock?
Okay, well it says 4 o'clock and 4 is the hours. That's what comes first. And I know that 4 is going to be my hour hand and that's my shorter hand. So I'm going to draw that with blue. So I'm going to draw an arrow to the 4 and I'm going to stop right when I get to the 4. There's my hour hand to show me 4. And o'clock is 0, 0, but I don't have a 0, 0 on my clock. I remember though, to show o'clock, my minute hand needs to go straight up to the 12. So I'm going to take my red and I'm going to draw an arrow through the 12. And that is showing 4 o'clock. Okay, here's our next one. It says, oh, it's another digital time. I know it's digital because it has the colon and it's showing me the numbers like this. It says 9 o'clock. Miss Lestico, how would you draw 9 o'clock?
Well, I know in my digital time, the hour comes first. So my hour would be 9. So I need my blue for my hour hand. It's going to be shorter. So I'm going to stop right before the 9. And draw a line to the center, and then draw an arrow. And then I know that o'clock means that then my minutes are going to be pointing to the 12. So I'm going to draw a line all the way up to the top of the 12. And sometimes my lines aren't perfectly straight. They get a little wiggly when I'm drawing clocks, but that's okay because not everything we do is perfect. All right, let's see what I've got from Miss Lime. 12 o'clock. Oh, this is kind of a tricky one, Miss
Hmm.
Lime.
Okay, that's the digital time. So I need to make it on the analog time. Let's see, 12 o'clock. So my hours are 12. My hour hand, my shorter blue hand, is going to point to the 12. So let's see, I'm going to do my arrow, and I'm going to stop right before I get to the 12. But it's an o'clock. So I know that my minute hand also needs to go straight up to the 12. So I'm going to very carefully draw my minute hand, and it's going to be right on top of my hour hand. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It might be a little wobbly. But look, it went all the way, it went through my hour hand and through the 12. So I can see I have my hour hand and my minute hand. They're kind of overlapping, but it says 12 o'clock. All right, here's a new time, Miss Lestico.
All right.
10 o'clock. Oh, and it's digital, which means she's going to draw the analog version.
All right, so I'm going to look at my analog clock, and I know that I need to start my hours pointing at the 10. So I'm going to stop right before the 10 so I make sure that it's the shorter hand. And I'm going to draw my arrow, and then 10 o'clock, of course means it's pointing towards the 12. And so I'm going to draw an arrow all the way through the 12 to the very, very top of the clock. So I can clearly see that it's the longer hand. All right, Miss Lime. Here is your next one. Oh, this isn't an analog clock.
Oh my goodness, we've been seeing the digital clocks, but now it's the analog. So I have to remember how to make it digital. Well, it says 8 o'clock because the hour hand is pointing at the 8 and the minute hand is pointing at the 12. 8 o'clock. So my hours are 8, so I'm going to write an 8 first. And o'clock. It's pointing at the 12, but I'm not going to put 12. O'clock. Oh! 2 zeros. 8 o'clock. Okay, Miss Lestico, we're almost done. Ready? Oh, it's a digital time.
All right, I can read this. I know that this is 6 o'clock. So I'm going to go over to my analog clock right here and write the digital time is 6 o'clock. So I know my hours are going to be pointing towards the 6, but I'm going to stop before I get to the 6 so that it's shorter. And then my minutes are going to be pointing at the 12. We go all the way to the top of the clock. And look at that. It's going straight up and down for 6 o'clock. All right, Miss Lime, this is the last one. Are you ready?
I am so excited. I love telling time.
All right, your last one is going to be 1 o'clock. That's your last one.
1 o'clock. Let's see. The hours are 1 and the minutes are 0 because it's an o'clock. Okay, so my hour hand, which is my shorter hand, is going to point directly at the 1. So I'm going to take my arrow, which is my clock hand, and I'm going to draw up to the 1 and stop just a little before. And o'clock. Oh, I know we've been practicing this all day, Miss Lestico. I'm going to point it straight up at the 12. This is going to show that it's an o'clock. So I have on my analog clock 1 o'clock. It's your turn. You need to get on Seesaw or use the paper copy if you're in your classroom, and you're going to tell the time. How are they going to do that, Miss Lestico?
Well, you're either going to have the analog clock filled out or the digital clock filled out, and you are going to have to represent that time in a different way. So,
just like we did, Miss Lestico.
the exact same as what we did, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, make sure you pay attention to those hours and those minutes. And be careful with those hour and minute hands. The hour hand is shorter and the minute hand is longer.
Good luck, first grade.